Hey guys.
Hi guys!
So one of the most frequently asked questions we get here on YouTube is what kind of equipment do you use?
And do you have any tips on how to start a YouTube channel?
So that's what this video is going to go over. Everything from filming equipment to editing software to even special effects if you need them. So let's get started.
The most common question we get asked is, what kind of camera do you use? When starting a YouTube channel, you don't need anything fancy. We've used everything from the old-fashioned flip camera to what we're currently using with the DSLR.
So the specific DSLR we first used was the T3i. Now this is the T3i, it's from Canon. This isn't the proper lens that we actually use. We use the stock lens, the 18x55, so don't worry so much about this. This was more for photography. But this was actually a really, really good camera. If you guys want to start off with something like professional grade, like a DSLR gives you, a T3i is, I highly recommend it. What makes a T3i so special, what made us want to get it, was the flip out screen, 3-inch screen.
Yes.
It flips out. It's really beneficial to be able to see yourself on a little screen when you're talking. Now that's not always great because sometimes you look at the screen like I do all the time.
Like stare over there.
Yeah, we look like we're cross-eyed or something. It happens. However, it's really good to have that, and it's really hard to record yourself if you can't see yourself.
Yeah, because then you gotta make sure you stay in frame, and when you have that little lens to look at, you're there all the time.
Absolutely. Now we did upgrade our camera because this camera actually does have a few problems we're going to go over real quick, so just in case you're thinking about this camera, know this. Now the number one problem we had with the T3i, if you guys didn't know, it's actually the 600D if you're across the pond, but the number one problem we had with the T3i was it cuts your video off after like 15 minutes, somewhere in there. So you'll be recording and it'll just say, cut your camera off.
Yeah, you can be in the middle of a sentence or middle of a thought and you're just done and have to start over.
Yeah, that's bad. It also doesn't have autofocus, which is also bad. So you have to set it up and go with it. Now what we upgraded to is the T5i, also known as the 700D. This camera that we're using currently, we really love. It's got autofocus. It also has the flip out screen, except it's touch screen now, which is really helpful. It's got better onboard audio. The microphone is actually on the top now instead of the side, so it just has better audio now. Right now we're actually using the onboard audio. If you guys do want to upgrade your audio, you can get a shotgun mic or a lavalier mic or anything like that. It does take that. We just don't currently use it for this type of video. And of course you're going to need a tripod so it sits on a tripod, doesn't move around and shake. A T3i will run you about $500 depending on where you can find it, if you can still find it, because it's kind of outdated now. A T5i will run you anywhere from $650 to $700, so they're pretty expensive cameras. Now if that's over your budget, we also recommend point and shoots. The one that we currently use is the Sony DSC HX80. This is actually a really, really good camera. This thing will put you back about $349, so it's about half the budget of a DSLR. However, the quality is actually really good. A couple of reasons we really like it besides the 18 pixels. It's really good quality as far as taking pictures. It's the flip out screen. This one actually goes forward, which is really helpful if you're going to do like vlogs where you can like hold it here and see yourself.
Absolutely.
If you're in a store recording like we do, it's really nice to have one of these where you can kind of see what's going on, or if you want to flip it over yourself.
A little more inconspicuous with that instead of carrying your
DSLR. Yeah. It's really kind of up to you, although it is very good quality if you want to vlog, or even if you want to just throw it on a tripod and record like we are right now. You have that option. So it's actually a really good camera. Anytime you buy a camera, the next most important thing is the SD card. There's a lot to talk about with an SD card because a lot of people, you can't just go out and buy an SD card, any card. You really have to kind of pay attention to what you're doing. The number one thing is the size of the card. I would not get anything smaller than 32 gigs.
Absolutely not.
Really, as high as you can go is what you should go. Because it's not good to be at the mercy of how much memory you have. It's, you know, you just want to go with it. Whatever video you're doing, record it and not have to worry about it running out of time. With that said, let's take a look at a memory card real quick. So the speed class rating is really the most important thing to look at. This little symbol here, the C10, that means class 10. It's ideal for shooting full high definition recordings as well as consecutive recordings. So it can handle all those high definition video files without crashing. Now they do have 2, 4, 6, and of course 10 different classes. 2 is standard, you'll do standard definition, nothing too special. You're probably never going to ever buy that, so just stay away from that. You might not even be able to find it these days. You have 4 and 6 that will do high definition, usually for like a phone or a tablet or something along those lines. You'll probably be okay, but I would be wary about it because there is a chance that those things will crash and you will lose your files. Just stick to the class 10. It's the fastest. It'll do full HD recording. And you just won't risk the loss of files crashing, which you might with the 4 and the 6 using a DSLR. Now they also have UHS, which is the ultra high speed. Those are good too. If you can find them, go ahead and pick those up too. Those are good. A little more expensive, but better.
It doesn't matter what kind of camera you use. You can spend all the money in the world you want on it, but if you have bad lighting, it's going to be absolutely worthless. You want to avoid amber lighting. That's the orange tinted light. And 3-point lighting is probably the best lighting you're going to get, and you should always use the white lights if possible. If you want to do what we have, just a cheap studio light set, get on eBay and type in studio lighting. You can usually pick up a package for like $60 or $70. It comes with a green screen, a bunch of different backdrops, and then your 3-point lights. But we do highly recommend getting a good light setup.
So now you have a video file. What do you do with it? What programs do you use? How do you edit it? We personally use Premiere Pro. It's one of my favorites. I've used it in not only just YouTube, but in my work life. And it's just a really good program, and it does everything easily. You can use After Effects. After Effects is basically the same program, it just does more. However, it can be daunting. There's just so much on there. If you kind of want it to do the same thing, Adobe Premiere Pro is really, really good. However, there are other many good editing softwares like Sony Vegas or even Final Cut Pro if you're an Apple user. Any of those will do what you wanted. I mean, if you want a picture in a picture, you want a video over a video, you want some special effects, anything like that, those are 3 good ones. Now they do, like we said, make a ton of other ones. But if you don't want any of that, if you just want to be kind of just plain Jane, all you do is want to talk in front of a camera and upload it, you can still use this your basic everyday video software, even like the one Windows does. Windows Movie Maker, I mean, just a very basic free software.
Now what if your channel needs music, explosions, intros, and lower thirds like a news channel? One of the most important things about making videos on YouTube is using royalty-free content. Now this refers to the right to use copyrighted material or intellectual property without the need to pay royalties or licensing fees to someone else.
Yeah, and if you use copyright material, your channel can get shut down. So,
Yes.
keep that in mind. That includes music or graphics or anything that isn't yours. It's one of the problems we see on YouTube a lot is they post like songs that are, on the top Billboard list or whatever. They have a special program built into YouTube that it can detect that. You can't get away with it, so don't even try it.
Nope, don't try.
Yeah, so you gotta find royalty-free stuff. But where do you find royalty-free content? YouTube does have a section where you can get some royalty-free music as well as sound effects. Not very good though. The music is very bland. I mean, it's not great, and there really isn't a whole lot of it. And the sound effects, they're okay, but the library's not very big. And sometimes you just get bored of what you can use. They also don't have the fun stuff like effects. Now you can use effects on like intros or outros or explosions or bullets or whatever you're gonna do. If you want a channel maybe more like Rocket Jump, we don't really know what kind of channel you guys are wanting to start, of course. So we got to go over all of it. And if that is something you want to do, maybe take your channel to the extreme. You're going to need special effects. One company that actually contacted us for a sponsorship was Videoblocks. Now this is a company that I've used before actually. Not here on YouTube, but in my other job like doing animation and motion graphics. Now typically we turn down most sponsorships mainly because they just don't make a lot of sense for our channel. However, this one did because mainly I feel like I can talk about it because I've used it before. And it of course helps this section of our video because if you guys are interested in doing intros or outros or explosions, I can kind of go over that with you, which I will show you in this video how to make a quick intro. So some quick information about Videoblocks. They're the biggest. They're basically the biggest. If you look online, more than likely you're going to find them. They have the largest download library of stock video, effects, motion graphics, pretty much anywhere on the web. It equates to 2 million stock videos, effects, and backgrounds, which of course you have access to as a member. Now they have 3 different types of membership plans. The first one is the monthly plan, which is $79 a month. Now this is more for if you just want to subscribe for a month, take all of your video footage that you can, and then cancel. It does give you unlimited downloads and then marketplace access. So know that everything in here isn't free, but you do get 40% off per clip compared to some other sites because they don't take commissions on its sales like many do. If you don't want to spend money on buying extra clips, like we said, you do get 100,000 free clips with the membership. Up next is the yearly plan. That's $149 per year. So that is substantially cheaper than buying it 1 month if you plan on kind of writing this out. That's 84% off basically from the monthly plan. You do get everything you got with the monthly plan. So you're going to have unlimited downloads, you're going to have marketplace access, and so on and so forth. And then lastly, the Premier plan for $198 a year. Now this one's if you're pro. I mean, if you're planning on making a short video, putting it up on YouTube, or maybe even a film festival, this is probably what you're going to use, mainly because they give you 4K content, not just like 1080p high definition. They give you full high definition, or UH high definition, I guess is what they're calling it. Ultra high def. It also gives the option to batch download, which is extremely important because you can actually download more than one file at a time. That's really important if you need a lot of files. For those of you that don't make movies or videos or anything like that, that might not be important to you, but if you do make like a serious movie that needs a lot of different files, that's a big deal. And then you also get to manage 5 different accounts with that, which is another really good perk. Now that's the one that I personally use in my past, mainly because when you make a large movie, you need a lot of content, and it's of course the cheapest way that if you're gonna drag it out for a year and you can't get everything in a month. Now, if you do just want to get everything you can in a month and call it a day, you have that option with the 1 month for the $79.
Now it's possible this may all be just overkill for what you want to do for your channel, but just in case you want to experiment with green screens, animations, or special effects, we thought we would inform you.
With that said, Videoblocks did give us a 7-day free trial code for you guys to try out if this is something you guys would be interested in. This will allow you to download 140 different pieces of free content, and if you want to sign up our plan, you know a little bit more about them now.
The link to redeem your 7-day trial is going to be in the description box down below. Now, if you don't cancel after the 7 days, you will be signed up automatically for the month-to-month service. So if you don't want to do the service, make sure you cancel within the 7 days.
If you guys do want some information on how to cancel that within the 7 days, here's how to do it. Now, if you're completely lost on effects, how to do it, if there's something you even want to do, let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, maybe you want to create an intro, so let's make an intro. Alrighty, so here's Videoblocks. If you scroll down, you can see that they separate all of their effects with footage and backgrounds and After Effects. We're going to go ahead and do footage here, and we're going to do effects and lower thirds. Now this will bring up a whole bunch of different effects that you can put into your videos. If you just scroll over them, you can see exactly what the effect is without having to download it. You can see like an explosion flame or even a burst energy, I think is what they're calling that one. And then this is what a lower third is, so if you want to do like a newscast, or even like a television in the background, sort of a newsy feel. Now up here it lets you break things up. We're going to break it up with, let's go trending now. Now I got like broken glass, which is a pretty cool one. Transitions, if you want to transition your video between video. Let's go with this one. This one is called Red Splat Transition 2. So all you have to do is hit download and then just save your file. Alrighty, so this is Premiere Pro. This is the program that I use, and we've already dropped in the red splatter here. You can see I'm just going to drag that onto the map here. Let's zoom in a little. Alrighty, so here you go. You can see the splat now. Pretty cool. Now, I don't know if I want it red because maybe that's a little too gory for my intro. I'm looking for something more fun. So we're going to go over here to the plugin, change to color, and drop that down on here. And then we're going to use the dabber and pick that red color. And then we're going to change it to a light blue color. There we go. So now you can see it's more of a something more towards our channel. Then we're going to make a title here. So let's just type in nerd therapy. And we're going to make the color black. That way it'll hide behind that blue. And let's drop it down on top of that video file. Okay, let's see what we got so far. There you go. You can see all that splat creates hours. Then what I want to do is we probably need a little music, right? Let's take our outro music and get rid of the actual video from it and just take the audio. Alright, so we got a little music in there now, and what we want to do is we're going to slow this down a little bit because it's a little fast. So let's go to the speed here. Make it a little slower. Now let's look at it. Okay. Alright, so maybe we want to hold that last frame a little bit so it's a little bit longer and holds on that. So let's take the last frame here. And we'll cut it. And we'll just go time remaining. Make that longer. So it should just hold that frame. Alright, so let's see what we have so far. Getting there. Let's just fade out that music a little bit. Alrighty, so we should have something pretty fun. So there you go. Pretty easy, pretty fun. I mean, it's just a little short one. Of course, you can do something a lot more creative. Maybe you want explosions or you want things that turn, you know. It's up to you. It's up to your discretion. You can always do it. It's just this one I wanted to make for the video, something quick and easy, which this one was. So it's pretty neat, pretty fun. At this point, we've gone over camera, lighting, editing software, special effects if you need them, and you're ready to upload. What now? The truth is, very rarely will you have immediate success. Understand that the content on your channel should always be something that you thoroughly enjoy.
Subscriber count, ad revenue, and viewers, all of those things take a long time to build.
So enjoy what you do, because it's a long, tedious work ahead of you. A lot of people like to say YouTube's an easy job. It is not.
It is not.
Especially if you have another job or anything else. I mean, it's a lot of work. Editing takes a long time, regardless if it looks easy. Planning out your video takes a long time. Even the cost of having a YouTube channel can be demanding, depending on what your channel is about. So just remember that quality is important, but it's not as important as enjoying what you do on YouTube. If you don't like it, people probably aren't going to watch it.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, then you're not going to enjoy doing it. You're just going to be kind of blasé about it. You're just not going to have your heart in it.
Yeah, and if you don't like what you're doing, it becomes a drag.
It becomes a job, and we all know how jobs are. Nobody wants to go.
Now, typically people will judge your channel about in the first 5 to 10 seconds. So if your quality's not good, your sound's not good, your lighting's not good, those are all things that are going to cause a problem for your channel's growth. That's why we always say it's really important maybe to kind of get your wings, just feel out YouTube first. Don't go out and spend all the money for the lighting and the cameras and everything else. Just work on yourself and work on your presence and everything else that what you would do on YouTube. And once you feel comfortable with being in front of the camera, because nobody's comfortable in front of the camera.
No, you're always awkward.
You're always awkward when you start off. Nobody can just step in and be like, I'm a YouTube phenom. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It takes a while. So once you feel good about it, then that's when I would say go ahead and start throwing in some lighting, throwing in some cameras, throwing in some audio. So now you have a YouTube channel, you have cool videos with awesome graphics, you're ready to go, and your channel's growing. What are you to expect? Number one thing, people are going to start commenting. You're going to start people commenting down there saying this and saying that. Not all of them are going to be great.
Nope.
No, the number one thing that YouTube has provided for us is friendships. That's the main thing we really love about YouTube.
We've been able to create some really good friendships and bonds with people all across the world, and I think that that's the best aspect of YouTube.
Definitely. Now, there are trolls, though, and do not go under the bridge with them. Now, I can't say I've never... I've gone under the bridge a couple times. Sometimes you just feel like you have to. But don't let them affect you is basically what I'm saying. People that roam on the internet, they're not all there. I'm just telling you, they're not all there. Some of them are just mean. They're mean-spirited. And you can't let that affect you. You can't, you can't let their mind warp. Now, the funny thing about YouTube is you make a 10-minute movie, you're allowing your viewers to kind of come into your life for those 10 minutes, and people like to judge those 10 minutes.
Yes.
They like to say things and they like to pretend they know you, when in reality they don't. So you never believe what they're saying.
Sometimes the comments can be pretty hurtful and it can make you feel pretty crappy, but you can't let that affect you as a person because they don't really know who you are and it's just not worth your time.
But what is worth your time is having fun, because that's what all this is about. You make a YouTube channel, just do it for fun. You know, that's the main thing. You know what you want out of YouTube before you start YouTube. That's the main thing. Do you want the fame and glory and the women and the men and the blah 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 blah? You know, chances are it's not gonna happen. You know, but know what you want. Do you want friendship? Do you want fun? Do you want glory? Do you want whatever?
Space to just release all of your thoughts with people that are like-minded.
Yeah, find that out. I mean, that's important. You know, when you start YouTube and say, you know what, I just want to maybe make a little AdSense money and have a community or whatever, then that's okay. Work towards that. Either way, no matter what your answer is, it's okay. That's basically what we can tell you in sort of a sped up kind of version of what to expect from YouTube, you know, how to start a YouTube channel. Like we said, it's the most commonly asked question we get. I feel like whether it's Q&A questions or anything like this, I just feel like this needed to be an individual video. So every time we are asked, you know, what kind of camera do you use? What kind of software do you use? We have a video link we can just say, oh, here you go.
Yeah, here's kind of you to that. Check it out. That'll go over everything in depth, the detail of what you need to know.
I know there's a lot of you out there. That's kind of been one of my joys making YouTube videos, is all the people that said that we watched your channel and me and my wife, or me and my girlfriend, or wanted to start my own YouTube channel, because whether it gave you guys confidence or you realize that what you do, what you like, the same thing we like, can be on YouTube, and there is a community out there for it, because there is a community of nerds. There's a ton of us.
There's a bunch of us.
So with that said, good luck, guys. We wish you all the success in the world, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.